Hello everyone, FG again. And here's one of those pucker moments where you measure 5 or 6 times and only drill and cut once, or so is the plan. So let me back up here. Here's where the vents are going. I had put some photos last fall of where I was thinking about doing stuff, but of course it was getting too cold. There wasn't time for paint and things of that nature, so I have painted the louvers a gloss black, and here I'm getting ready to drill the mounting holes. Not sure exactly what I'm going to do with the venting yet, because there's a lot of metal crossing underneath that holds things in place, part of the factory structure. So right now I'm just going to basically mount these blind, so they're really only going to be cosmetic at this point, until I figure out exactly what I'm doing. My thoughts are about water coming through, dropping onto the engine. Although, if I move over here, this is my weekend toy, and you can see that it's got vents, and these have been in there for quite a while. I did that project, oh boy, probably late 90s. So these have been in place for close to 30 years. Actually never had any problems with any components failing because of water. So I might be overthinking this possibly a little, but we'll see. Anyway, so this is where I'm up to. I've got the holes marked. I'm about ready to drill the driver's side. So I'll be back to you in a few when I've completed that, and we'll see how everything goes. It's not going to sit flat until I cut out the center portion, which I wasn't planning on doing. Is this video or pictures?
Video.
Yeah, I don't know if I would really want to public my humiliation. Fit.
What didn't fit?
Hitting along here.
Oh.
The hole's just slightly too narrow.
So what are you gonna do?
Gotta grind it more.
Ah.
Okay, so here's the mid part of the build. As you can see, be painted over slightly. And yes, I have a cameraman today.
Camera woman.
A camera woman today. So I don't have to do everything myself, which is very, very helpful. You can see that the other side is not even started, because wow, this turned out to be a crazy pain in the neck.
It was muggy today.
I kind of wonder if it was worth it. This is one of those projects that you're like halfway through and you're like, should I have even started? But anyway, so let me go ahead and open the hood. Now this is the steel screen that came with it. This is part of the OEM from General Motors. I'm not going to use the bottom tray, I don't think. It just doesn't seem like it works.
What do you mean the bottom tray? What's the bottom tray?
There's a solid piece that goes across there that came with it as well. But
under the screen?
Yeah, so it would be on this side of the screen.
Okay.
So I took the factory screen and I repainted them because they were really rough looking. They had a little bit of rust and they were just very discolored and disgusting.
Rusty from the factory?
Well, they were salvage.
Oh.
They weren't new.
Okay.
They came out of a yard. So yeah, so this is how it came out. And yeah, I know all the screws are shiny. I'm gonna shoot some black paint on them later and probably make everything look nice. And the missing heat blanket, I guess, whatever you want to call it, that fiberglass type stuff that the factory had installed, I'm going to replace that with a foil backed insulation, so it's going to be real shiny under here when everything is done. And I'm going to cut that so it fits right around the screen, so it looks nice. And as a matter of fact, I might cut it so that the screen actually sits on it. It's actually a good idea. That would keep it in place around the perimeter there, which they very nicely provided. And so that's where we are. It's nearing 7 o'clock. So on the East Coast here in Maryland, it's just about getting ready to get dark pretty soon. So there is no way I'm starting the other side today. So this is where we are. So when the other side's complete, I will post that video. Until then. Okay, here we are back again. And yeah, I know some people would probably say I've completely lost my mind, and some of my friends would probably argue no, he lost his mind quite a while ago. But anyway, so here's the hole from number one that turned into an hours-long nightmare, and then made a template off of that. Come over here, make cut number two. I've got this basically right, except for a few trims here at the far end and a little bit of work over here. 35 minutes. So having good saw blades and having a real good idea what didn't go so well the first time is obviously going to be hugely helpful to finish the second side. And as I mentioned before, yes, I have done this before. The holes were much smaller, and they didn't have to be quite as precise either. The pieces that I was working with had more overlap over the metal. These are very tight. So I'm sure the factory had, nice stamping equipment, and their tolerances were probably to hundreds, if not thousands of an inch. Yeah, saber saws are not that good. So there it is. So here's basically most of the cut. The tape is not only for putting down markings, obviously, so you can see where cut lines are supposed to go, but it's also to keep the jigsaw foot from destroying your paint. So if you ever decide to do something like this, even if it's on fiberglass, I would recommend this to protect the paint. You can see that the foot did not dig through, but it did make some marks over here, right along there. So yeah, that's an important step. All right, come back to you soon. And so here we are, hole number two is complete. Come back over to the driver's side. You can see this one's a bit more raggedy. Didn't come out as nice and clean as I was hoping, but yeah, it'll do. And when everything's buttoned up, thankfully the raggediness is pretty much invisible. I mean, sure, if I had a plasma cutter and a full metal shop and, twice the talent, these would probably look factory perfect and nobody would ever be able to tell it didn't come that way. But yeah, unfortunately, most of my fabrication projects don't go that nicely. So anyway, there we are. And I'll finish off the video and say adios in a minute or two after I get everything cleaned up and get them mounted. All right, here's the final part of the video. Let's see if I can pull this off. I'm going to try to approach without bouncing the camera all over and making a real mess out of the video. And I apologize, it's very windy here in Maryland today, so I don't know how good the audio is going to be. That may come out a little bumpy as well, but we'll see. Anyway, so here is the outside. And we pan back. And I will switch. And here comes the big reveal. Dun, 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 dun. Bingo. So let me zoom in here a bit. Give you a view of how everything came out. I think it turned out pretty good, actually. Possibly a little better than I had expected. So I got some rubber welting here, which is usually used on car doors to keep them from getting banged up by parking lot idiots. So I put that around the edge of the screening because the screen was kind of just cut rough. It was designed by General Motors that it was supposed to be inside of a metal tray, so they didn't care what the edge looked like. It was just stamped steel. So I put that on there just to make it look a little better, and also that I wouldn't get cut by the edges maybe on some future project. So let me give you a view here, and obviously you can see that I put a bunch of heat shielding here as well. So just to kind of protect the paint and maybe reduce underhood temperatures a bit. So that's pretty much it. That's the finished product. I think it came out pretty good. Not sure if I'm going to have to put any shielding perhaps to keep maybe water from going any places that I don't want it to, but that's probably going to be more of an experiment. This is the 5th or 6th car I think that I've vented a hood, so it's not the first time I did it, and I never really had any trouble with them before, so we'll see how this one goes. Anyway, until next time, FG signing off.